Hello, my name is Raymond Garchevsky, and I'm a living Christ. 3 days ago, I removed all of my contributions to social networks, starting with Facebook, from their sources, because for the last 24 years, I have had the satanic forces which control such venues of media, of communication, which have launched a campaign of destruction of my credibility, of my very input on the internet, by censoring, by blocking, by banning, shadow banning, by forgeries, by any number of satanically motivated campaigns to destroy this living Christ for 24 years. It's all tied into government's intelligence community, combined with forces of the media to bring this about. Now, these are the people, the satanic people, organizations that control your minds. They control the means of news, which form your view of life. The fictional life, the life that is constructed by them through the illusions of words and ideas and structured thoughts that are not true, cannot be true because they are partial in nature, although sometimes words do contain the spirit of truth. Now, that spirit of truth is an energy. It's unfragmented, it's holistic, holy. It is at one with what is. It is the essence of God itself. Now, God's a word. I clearly understand that, and I must use words if I'm to communicate with you in your intellectual vein of mind that control your actions and your behavior and your memory, your view of life. That's the satanic temptation that has caused you to leave your holistic self in your subconscious mind. That is the mind of the Creator. You, in your subconscious mind, by acting upon thoughts that you have made up your mind, which puts you in your subconscious mind. Otherwise, your intellectual mind is split, divided, and confused. You must make up your mind in order to act. And if you cannot act holistically, you continue to remain confused and act fragmentarily. That's the nature of hell on earth. And civilized men and women have all sold their souls to frequent that satanic intellectual mind, which is fragmented, split, divided, and in eternal opposition. You're confused. If you're in your conscious intellect, you're confused because you're dealing with words that are based in judgment. You've heard the admonition, judge not lest ye be judged. What does that mean? You see, in the subconscious mind, there is nothing to judge. That is the mind of what is. Understand? It's holistic. It's non-dualistic. However, the conscious intellect is dualistic. Therefore, it's based in judgment, based in definitions, based in illusions. And one worships those illusions. They are worshiping Satan because they're in hell and they serve the energies of hell, the split, fragmented energies, the confused energies, the opposing energies. That's a fact. That's the truth. I come along and I speak to you holistically. I speak to you non-dualistically. I speak to you the truth, the what is. That's the energy that cannot be denied, but you hear it based on your conditioning by schools, by parents, by churches, by authority, symbols which are satanic in themselves, in that they gain their power by their division, their ability to divide and conquer, their ability to talk down to ignoramuses, because ignoramuses invite such behavior. They invite that power. They invite the entity, the man who will do their thinking for them. They call them leaders. That's what puts them into hell, the leaders and the led. And all are blind to the truth that is holistic, non-dualistic, and can only be seen in the subconscious mind. That's a fact also. You understand what I'm saying to you? I have been trying to wake you people up. First of all, have you caught the fact that I am talking to you dualistically? Because I'm using the I and the you. I do this because that's the only language that you can understand. You can't understand the truth, which is based in what is. But I am dealing with the what is. It's speaking to you in the intellect through dualistic means. And that's the lure. That's the satanic lure that takes you away from grasping the truth of what this living Christ is saying. You hear your own personal interpretation of the memory-based ideas that you have about the words that I use. Now, the judicial system shows you that it is satanic in its nature by virtue of having its own language. Do you understand? Its own definitions. And it holds you, the common man, responsible. When you step into the fictitious court, voluntarily or under arrest, which crime has been committed when they arrest the living man, because they have no authority over living men and women. And I, this living Christ, have proven that fact in the Oregon courts. They convicted their own person that they created by assigning a name similar to mine, but all in capital letters, which is the first satanic trick used to confuse. and overpower the enslaved-minded of you. You use words, but those words contain a multiple of definitions, and the courts will abide by their definitions and overcome your resistance to it through your definitions. It's a rigged system. It's a satanic system. And you, the living, are trapped in a fictitious world when you step into a courtroom. You're stepping into a satanic den of thieves who benefit by convicting you, by stripping away your life force and adopting it for themselves. That's the transference of wealth at the fundamental level. But you, millions of you, have not caught on to that. Do you understand? Let me get back to my experiences with the Oregon courts. They convicted the defendant, which was their own person that they created through birth certification. But that wasn't me. When it came time for sentencing to a threat of incarceration of 40 years in prison, I merely refused to accept their conviction because they haven't proven jurisdiction, that they had the satanic judicial sources did not have jurisdiction over this living man, this living Christ. I call their bluff. And they knew that they picked on the wrong guy. And they released me with no charges on a formerly threatened 40-year sentence in prison. How about that? Can you even comprehend that in your limited understanding? Because all of you are conditioned to be believers, to follow the dictates of those who exercise the illusion of power over you. You cave in. And that is the power they have over you. Now, I'm telling you that government is a fiction of your own mind. It does not exist except for your own consent and your own contract. Contract is the methodology of Satan. There's seduction. You are lured by some offering to contract. But once you contract with them, you're playing the lawyer game. You're playing the court game. You're playing the judgment game. And you're lost. You become a non-entity, a person owned and controlled by an equally fictitious government and courts. They have jurisdiction only over other fictions, and a person, by birth certification, is such an entity. You, the living man, have been transformed into the living dead. That's a fact. Now, I'm throwing around a whole lot of facts here, and I'm wondering if you even understand what I'm talking about. Most of you are ignorant of life itself. You're ignorant, which means that you're limited in understanding that which you speak, that which you think, and that which ultimately comes when you act. And that accounts for the hell on earth that we live in, the wars, the crime, the entanglements the emotional entanglements that cause nothing but confusion, contradiction. Now, all these things are what can be called sin. Contradiction is a sin in essence. And the wages of sin, they say, are death. Why? Because sin can only be found in a dualistic intellect. In that dualistic intellect lie the illusions that are believed by ignorant people who consider themselves persons, civilized citizens. All that seems to be orderly and somewhat positive, but that too is an illusion. Because truth is what is. Anything else less than that is an illusion. This life that you lead is an illusion. You can't argue otherwise, but you will argue because that's all you know what to do. You cannot act clearly. You are looking for power. You are looking for prestige, fame, fortune. You are looking to get a better place in hell, because hell is where you stay until you stop the nonsense of satanic thought based in the intellect, the satanically conditioned intellect of man, which you agree to, you contract with. Once you contract with them, you sell your soul, you sell your wholeness. You are now a fragmented man or woman. You believe. You're not capable of seeing. You're not capable of understanding. You're only capable of thinking and judging. And you forget the adage, judge not, lest ye be judged. Because that is what happens in the world of illusion. You go around and your ego seeks to have power over another. And how is that power gained? Through words and judgments. That is why a man some 2,000 years ago, Jesus of Nazareth, the simple man of truth, said, judge not, lest ye be judged. Well, I, in this incarnation, am also a simple man of truth, the Christ. And I have brought to you a non-dualistic truth, and that has raised your hackles, has angered you. It has created in you the reaction of imbalance of that what you think and that which is what is. You're not capable of grasping the holistic truth. And so all you can react to are your own ideas of the idea of truth. That's the illusion under which most of you live under. And I have brought this to you for 24 years, and you have ignored it, you have fought it, you have tried to destroy it, to the point that 3 days ago, I understood that I'm not getting close to having you understand what I have to say. It's beyond your ken. So I have removed all of my contributions to these satanic, phony internet sites that are under the control of Satanists who form your mind, your view of the world. And I have advised all to find the truth on my website, arkenterprises.com, and arkenterprises.com/index10.html. That's where you'll find the truth that Jesus of Nazareth spoke of some 2,000 years ago, and the eternal truth that cannot be destroyed by this living Christ. Now, here and now, in your world, in this world, a truth that is timeless, that cannot be assaulted by time-bound threats, derisions, insulting. Although you think that I am insulting your intelligence, I'm merely speaking the truth. It is your reaction to that energy of holistic truth that sends you off the deep end. And you are angered because you think I am insulting you. Why would I do a thing like that when you do such a good job of that for yourself? We're heading for an economic collapse in this world, and many of you, millions of you, are going to die. They're going to pull the rug under you and let you founder until you give up the ghost. Now, is that intelligent? Is that who I'm speaking to? Clearly not, because you ignore. You refuse to accept the truth of this simple Christ. And so, if you cannot gird yourselves to bring yourselves to view the truth on my websites, you've sealed your fate. That's all I have to say to you. We're all a work in progress until this incarnation ends. But it's all an illusion. You understand that? If you're living in the world of thought, you're living in an illusion. Stop that and enter into the subconscious region of truth, of God, of creation. And you can change your life because you are the God of your own life. You see, you have been trained to think that there was only one God. Now that's an illusion. And that you, trying to be a God, there's something that is judged to be wrong with that by those who control your minds. And they create dictum to continue to condition your mind to that point until you give up and you become enslaved. If slavery is what you want, then slavery is what you're going to get until you can no longer live with yourself and you will die. That's my message for today. Take it or leave it.